step through the doors of MATC, you'll quickly realize the abundance of different people, ethnicities, and cultures that make us all unique. In today's episode of MATC Now, we'll take a colorful journey through these differences that bring us all together. From learning about the Hispanic Serving Institution Initiative to exploring the Cosmetology program, don't miss out on this week's episode of MATC Now. Hello and welcome to MATC Now. I'm your host, Leslie Garcia Ramirez, filling in for James. Today I'll be joined in studio by my co-host, Haley Weber. How are you doing today, Haley?
Hi, I'm doing well.
Good. So tell us about your role here on campus.
So I'm Haley, I'm the manager of student resources, and I help students who might be experiencing barriers or obstacles outside of the classroom that are causing them to have less success in the classroom. So things like housing, food insecurity, transportation, childcare. I work with my team in the Student Resource Center to connect those students to community organizations who can solve those barriers so students can be successful here in their classes.
All right, perfect. That sounds like a huge job. Well, we appreciate everything you do. So we'll make sure to check back with you, Haley. All cultures have different forms of entertainment, and student producer Stephen Brannon had the chance to lay out all the cards out with a local magician who is an MATC graduate from our TV production program. But before that, student producer Nick Moore and student passion reporter Shannon O'Dwyer will show us the art of 3D printing with Waukesha County Technical College student Joshua Clay.
3D printing is a rapidly advancing new technology used for many different things, such as a hobby or even in manufacturing. I'm student passion reporter Shannon O'Dwyer, and we're about to go visit Joshua Clay, a WCTC student who loves turning 3D models into reality. So for someone who doesn't know what 3D printing is, could you tell us a little bit more about it and how it works?
So 3D printing is effectively taking a thin filament of plastic, heating it up, and extruding it through a nozzle to create complex shapes that normally couldn't be made. 3D printing's actually come a long way from when it started. At the beginning, you could just print one filament in 3 axes. Now you can have multiple filaments printing at the same time. You have multiple heads on a machine, so you can print multiple lines of plastic at the same time.
How did you get into 3D printing? What about creating and being creative with 3D printing? What about that interests you?
So I first started 3D printing back when I was an apprentice toolmaker. I actually had some colleagues of mine who were talking about it. They had family members and children who were 3D printing. And when I was looking at what I like to do, I like to make little gadgets and fix things around my house. I started looking at 3D printing as a way to kind of further that just hobby of making things for myself. So for example, I play Dungeons and Dragons and I make small models, but the builds that I like the most are actually functional ones. My personal favorite was a friend of mine. He had a pool cover cap for a swimming pool that had broken, and the company that made this cap doesn't exist anymore. So in order to fix it, he would have had to have pulled out an entire filtration system for a swimming pool for a cap that cost maybe $5 to make. $700 to replace a system versus me being able to 3D print something for $2 and completely fix the entire thing.
How does your passion for 3D printing help relax you in between your busy schedule or just reinvigorate you?
Being able to relax, just sitting down, kind of thinking of an idea of what I want to make and then slowly working through making it, and then being able to take something that I just thought of and then being able to physically hold it is absolutely amazing to me. I don't think there's really a better feeling of going from just a concept of, oh, I kind of want to make a little box, or I would like to make a clock, and then being able to physically hold it and go, I designed this entire thing myself.
Performance art is an often overlooked but vital part of current culture. Performers use their art to bring a smile to their audience. One such performer, Luca, shares his love of the art of magic with his audience.
I kind of fell into a career as a magician almost by accident. You see, magic's been a hobby of mine since I was about 11 years old, and I did it all throughout grade school and in high school, but it was just one of those fun, casual things. I never took it super serious.
Luca graduated from MATC's TV video production program in 2009.
I don't think I would be a successful magician if it wasn't for the time and the experiences that I had going through the TV program at MATC. I was actually in college. I was in one of the TV studios with some other of my classmates, and we were waiting for either the talent to show up or something. And I remember we were throwing some cards into a hat, like across the whole studio, at least trying to. And I was like, you know what, let me show you guys a card trick. And so I did like 1 or 2 card tricks. And then that kind of like reignited the magic flame, I guess, within me. I do feel that MATC adequately provided me with the skills and the resources necessary to have a career in this field. I just realized that after working in it briefly, that it just wasn't exactly what I wanted it to do, and it wasn't something for me personally. However, there's a lot of the skills I learned from that program that transposed into my everyday life. I think magic is important to the culture just as much as any other form of entertainment. Whether you listen to music, whether you play video games, whether you watch movies, it's just a different vehicle for entertaining people itself. I don't think it's any more or less important than anything else that's out there. It's just, it speaks to some people, and I'm really honored and blessed that I'm able to perform it for people who enjoy it.
Even as a magician, Luca carries the lessons he learned at MATC throughout his daily life.
The program that I went to, television video production, is a very hurry up and wait kind of situation. So naturally, now in my day-to-day life, I hurry up, get stuff done, and then wait for the next thing to happen. One of the things that I found valuable from the TV program is that it teaches you how to use your time wisely and how to schedule things out in advance. Murphy's Law is a real big thing in the TV program where anything that can go wrong will go wrong, and you get pretty good at thinking quickly on your feet and resolving issues and with the least amount of friction possible because nothing goes as planned ever.
Sounds like the skills learned from being a magician can be used universally in life.
That's right, it's more than just sleight of hand. Quick thinking and problem solving can go a long way.
So while Luca entertains the people of Milwaukee, student producer Ben Kodrowski takes us into what it takes to keep a bright, shiny smile with an inside look in the dental hygiene program. But first, student producers Ethan Ramsey and Isabella Riveros explore how Hispanic students will achieve their goals through MATC's role as a Hispanic serving institution.
College should be attainable for people of all backgrounds. MATC is a college that knows its students very well and is doing the hard work to support them all. One of the fastest growing demographics at MATC and in the country is the Latino student body. In 2018, MATC set the goal of becoming a Hispanic serving institution. Through the U.S. Department of Education, as an HSI, MATC would have access to additional federal money for programs and services. Dr. Patricia Torres Najera is the daughter of Colombian immigrants, a first-generation college graduate, and has 25 years of experience in higher education. Dr. Najera is one of the leaders behind MATC's HSI team.
An HSI is the designation given by the U.S. Department of Education for an institution of higher education that reaches 25% full-time enrollment. What it means is that we're trying to get our student population at 25% would be Hispanic or Latino, Latina for the college.
The HSI's leadership team's focus is to ensure that Hispanic students reach their full potential by closing the achievement gaps between their peers.
The percentage of MATC's Hispanic enrollment is at 23.4% as of October of 2024, which is the equivalent to about 775 students. The biggest benefit for HSI, for MATC, is really to provide more opportunities for the growing Hispanic population in the city of Milwaukee and the state of Wisconsin. We know that with education, that levels the playing field as far as for jobs and improving their quality of life.
To earn the designation, among other criteria, MATC's enrollment must be at least 25% Hispanic or Latino students. The college currently sits at 23.4%. Today, 571 institutions have reached HSI status, including 226 public two-year colleges. Wisconsin currently has 3: Alverno College, Herzing University in Kenosha, and Mount Mary University. According to Dr. Cruz, MATC recognizes that the Latino population is the fastest growing in our region. Research indicates that this community is underrepresented in higher-paying careers. MATC has the power to change this through education, which unlocks access to these careers. Equal opportunity is the bedrock of America. For many, the American dream remains out of reach due to systemic issues rooted in our society. Regardless of status, MATC supports its Latino students and their dreams of a brighter future.
In our current culture, people have taken more awareness to the importance of health and hygiene, and here at MATC, there are plenty of programs focused on becoming healthier and more hygienic. The Dental Hygiene Program is one such program, teaching groups of students how not only to take care of their own dental hygiene, but also how to encourage other people to take care of their own dental hygiene as well.
Dental hygienists were few and far between early on, and mostly they were just dentists. And over the last half a decade or half a century, dental hygienists now outnumber the number of dentists. And so things have changed a lot from the perspective of what we do as dental hygienists, from simply just cleaning teeth to managing health risks, counseling patients to reduce health risks, and coming up with comprehensive dental hygiene plans.
The valuable lessons that I've learned here throughout the dental hygiene program have been, obviously just the dental hygiene part of it, making sure that I can treat a patient with how they need to be treated, but also with our class specifically, we've all gotten very close to each other, and there's a lot of communication that goes on among our classmates, but also with the instructors as well. So I would say communication has been one of the big things that, one of the big skills that I've been able to kind of hone in on and be able to kind of work on improving.
There's a very high demand for dental hygienists right now. They cannot fill the positions that are in need right now, so it's a very good, flexible career. It's a nice starting point for additional professions within the dental field and public health as a whole. And the pay is fair and very competitive with other careers. As an associate degree, it's one of the highest paying career fields. Patients can come in, friends, family, patients from the public can come in. We treat everybody. Patients typically will start with a screening appointment, so the screening is used to determine the complexity of the patient's treatment, and then we pair the patient with a student with the specific skill set that's needed.
Here at our dental clinic, our appointments are a little longer than in a traditional practice that people might be used to going to. So our appointments here are, range from about 3 hours and 15 minutes to 3 hours and 45-ish minutes, just depending on what level you're in. But it might seem like a long time, but there's a lot of stuff that needs to get done that kind of even behind the scenes that patients aren't really necessarily aware of. There's a lot that we have to get through. So time management has been huge, trying to make sure that we have our schedule and we stay on schedule, because once we get into a practice or wherever we choose to go after school, it's going to be much shorter appointments. So trying to still get everything done in that short amount of time, I think this has helped prepare me for. I think that dental hygiene plays a big role in our current culture, especially like with having social media be out there. There's a lot of places where people can get a lot of great information, but there's also a lot of, misinformation that can start floating around too. So, there's a lot of really great resources online, whether that's the ADA or the ADHA, just looking into things like that. But I think that the best way to make sure that you're getting all the correct and updated information, of course, is coming to see, a doctor, a dentist, and a hygienist regularly for your cleanings. There's a lot of places obviously in your mouth that you can't see with your own eyes, so it's really helpful, making sure that you're going in for those regular appointments so that you can make sure everything is in tip-top shape.
The dental hygiene program helps students connect with current culture through health and hygiene. Looking toward the future, it seems as the current culture evolves, so does the program. The more our current culture changes and develops, the more important health and hygiene become.
I wasn't aware MATC had a dental clinic. How cool! Now let's check in with our field correspondent, Akira Quinn, who's down in the M building. What do you got for us, Akira?
Hey Leslie, today we're here at MATC's downtown campus to learn about the creative styles of cosmetology. I'm here with Julie, an instructor here at MATC. Julie, can you tell us where we're standing?
Hi, Akira. We are standing in room M126, which is a stock room of sorts. It's connected to our student salon, so when they have clients in their chair, they're allowed to come back here and get the various products that we have for hairstyling, hairspray, all the different things, scalp treatments, all the products are in these cabinets right here. So we also use this room to mix color. Oftentimes we have clients that come in for hair coloring services, and we use the Matrix hair color line. The permanent color is Matrix So Color, and the demi-permanent color is Color Sync. So we have all the different color swatches to help the clients pick out their hair color, and in these cabinets we have the color and the developer and everything that they need for a successful hair coloring service.
And other than this, what other options do the program offer here?
Okay, we have in our department, we have barbering, we have a nail program, and an aesthetics program. Our esthetician program is up at the MEC1 campus, but every other program, barbering, nails, and cosmetology, all happens right here downtown.
And over here, I see your students are working on some beautiful things out here. Can you tell us what the students are working on today?
Oh, sure. These are senior cosmetology students, and they are working on advanced hairstyling today. The students start out the program by working on mannequins before they are allowed to work on customers in the student salon. So they learn how to cut, they learn how to color, do all chemical services on their mannequins. Fast forward to 4 weeks before graduation, we have our seniors here in their advanced hairstyling class. In their advanced hairstyling class, they are learning fantasy hairstyling today.
And can you tell us what is fantasy hairstyling?
Fantasy hairstyling is just as it sounds. It's using all different objects, artificial hair, flowers, feathers, jewels, all the different things that I have laid out for them. And I kind of say, okay, you guys use your creativity and create something fun. So we've had everything from, elaborate styrofoam crowns to this one was done actually just today. And if you look around the room, you can see the students creating their different fantasy looks.
And it's a broad subject speaking on hairstyles. What is the importance of hairstyles culturally dealing with textures and everything?
Well, we're very, very proud of our program here at MATC because we teach all hair textures, from very curly hair to straight hair. You never know what kind of a customer is going to walk through the door and sit in your chair, and we want our students to be well-versed in all different hair types. So,
and how can individuals like me, if they want to work on real clients, how can I get in contact? How can anybody get in contact with this program?
Well, we do post schedules every 8 weeks that list our different rooms where we provide services. We have our student salon, which is this room. We have a barber shop, a spa down the hall where we give facials, and also a nail room. So here are the menus of all the services and the dates and times that we provide the services.
Thank you so much, Julie, for being here. Everything right here is very creative, and thank you for doing your job.
You're
Back
welcome.
to you at the studio.
All right, thank you, Akira. The cosmetology program really helps people to look and feel their best in any situation. We will now turn our attention to our guest, Michael Sade, the Dean of the Creative Arts, Design, and Media Pathway. Dean Sade, thank you for being here today.
Thanks so much for having me, Leslie. It's good to
Of
see you.
course, yes. So how do you encourage students to address social or cultural issues in their creative work?
Yeah, it's really important these days. I think my role as a dean, especially, what I do is I set the culture for the Create Pathway, and then really expressing our values. And so, in everything that we do, whether it's looking at diversity and equity, inclusion, and really, celebrating that through the work of our Create Gallery, or in a lot of the other things that we do, like our Create the Spark event, but also having regular conversations with our faculty about equity gaps, and just making sure that it's a part of our conversation, really, and everything that we do from our meetings, on a monthly basis to every semester. So it's really important to make sure that I'm celebrating culture, and then that hopefully propagates down from the work of our faculty and for our students to feel like they're free to express themselves, and also celebrate social and cultural issues as well.
Yes, of course.
So, Dean Sade, tell me, what attributes do students have or learn that makes them successful in the Creative Arts program?
Yeah, I think one of the great things about MATC is all the technology that we have access to here. And our students, whether they're here in a TV studio learning about the various technologies that are required to run a TV studio, or in a graphics design lab, or anywhere in all of our pathways, it's so important that students first learn that technology and have that foundation. But I think the other thing that, especially in the creative arts area, is that our students build their own brand. So constantly investing, not only into their own knowledge, but also into themselves and their reputation as well, which for any creative arts is really critical.
Yes, very important. So tell me, are there any opportunities for peers to collaborate within the program or any of the programs in the creative arts?
Yeah, we do that a lot in our programs. Oftentimes it's built right into the curriculum so that students have the opportunity to take a class or two here or there, for instance, like music and audio production. A lot of our programs pair together really well. So they'll take a few classes just to try some things out, or we also encourage students just to take a class if it's something they might be interested in, like photography or learning how to cook or something like that, so that they can kind of explore for themselves and see if it's something that they would like to do. But oftentimes there's also, even in that, there's many times opportunities for within all of our programming for sharing of different ideas and different skill sets. So for instance, like in Letters to Santa, our animation and computer simulation and gaming students are working on little clips for television video production for up here at Letters to Santa. So it's always great to have collaboration within our programs and see a lot of different sharing of knowledge and skills.
Are there initiatives where students collaborate with local communities to create culturally relevant art or media?
Yeah, that's a big part of what we do as well. I mean, obviously it's important for students to have those experiences, to build their own brand and to get an experience doing that. It's also good outreach for MATC as well. So we have things like, the Milwaukee Public Television, where we have Letters to Santa, but then we also have things like our gingerbread competition that's out at the Milwaukee Public Market in the next couple weeks as well. So we like to, invest into the community here as well and those relationships.
Yeah, of course. All right.
For our students.
Thank you so much, Dean Sade. Thanks for being here, and hopefully everyone feels inspired to get involved in something creative here on campus.
Thanks so much for having me.
Yes, of course. Some artists use paint, others use clay, but Chef Aiyana uses food as her medium. Chef Aiyana, tell us what delicious masterpiece is hitting the plate canvas this week.
Hey, thanks guys. Today we're discussing culture, so we're making a vegan-friendly recipe that is able to be all-inclusive, a rainbow veggie wrap. This wrap is a fairly simple, no-cook recipe that is packed with protein and other nutrients and is perfect for a quick and filling lunch. For our ingredients, I have tortillas, red pepper hummus, spinach, shredded carrots, tomato, red onion, and balsamic vinaigrette. You'll need a knife and a cutting board, something to spread with, as well as a box grater. I washed all of my vegetables beforehand, but always make sure to do that first. And to get started, I'll begin preparing my vegetables. We'll start with shredding our carrots for this recipe. You don't want the whole carrot in there. You just want a couple of something that you're able to bite with without having too much of a crunch to it. We'll be using the side of the box grater with the large holes as opposed to something like a mandolin or a julienne shredder. Now that we've got our carrot ready, we'll place this in a bowl off to the side. And we'll get started on our tomato. We'll cut 3 thick slices for our wrap. Technically, tomato is a fruit, but it still counts. Remember, this is an all-inclusion veggie wrap. Also, did you know tomato was the first fruit to successfully be grown and harvested in space? Thought that was pretty interesting. Next, we'll cut our red onion. You'll want to cut it into small cubes, and red onions are perfect for this because they have a subtle sweetness to them that has more of an aromatic smell than white onion would. Get rid of this. We'll put that in the bowl as well. Last, we have the veggie spinach leaves, which I already have set aside a small bowl of. This means we can start with assembling. First, we'll take our tortilla and spread a little bit of hummus on. So we'll take our scoop, scoop up a nice helping of hummus, and spread that on evenly so we have a nice type of glue for our wrap to rest on. Next, we'll add our tomatoes and carrots. Tomatoes, carrots, then our onions. And for our final topping, our spinach. It's called a rainbow wrap because of all of the fun colors of our veggies. You can use a foil or a piece of parchment paper to help store it overnight so you can take it for lunch the next day. We'll roll this up and make sure you have all of your sides tucked in real tight. Roll it seam side down, and then you'll take your knife and give it a nice slice to get that beautiful red veggie wrap. It's a refreshing, healthy choice that we can all enjoy. Of course, wraps are completely customizable, so use your imagination to spice things up. This is just somewhere for you to start. Thanks for tuning in. Back to you in the studio, James.
Thanks for that recipe, Aiyana. Those look delicious. Now let's see what Leslie has for us in this week's MATC Minute.
Life can get hectic with school and personal responsibilities. Drop by the Student Union every Tuesday between 10 a.m. and 3 p.m. at the West Dallas campus for our wellness tips. Discover helpful tips and tricks to take care of yourself throughout the semester. Join us on the Oak Creek campus on November 20th for Community Day. Come together with your campus community and local community partners to learn more about student resources, upcoming events, games, and giveaways. Let's come together at the downtown campus for a Wild Out Wednesday from noon to 1 p.m. Grab lunch, listen to good music, play a game, and meet your student leaders and community partners. The MATC women's basketball team travels to Grays Lake, Illinois on Wednesday to face the College of Lake County Lancers. Tip-off will be at 5:15. Go Stormers! Mindful coloring or coloring meditation is an art therapy that involves coloring in pre-drawn illustrations while focusing on the present moment. Join us on Thursdays in the 3rd floor of the Student Lounge area from noon to 2 p.m. for Art in Living Color, Mindful Coloring. All art materials will be supplied.
Thanks for that, Leslie, and we wish the Stormers the best of luck. Now let's head outside where student producer Darius Jackson is at Speed Weenies on Howell Avenue, and he'll show us what's the hottest destination in town for athletic pooches in this week's Hidden Gem KE.
What up, Milwaukee? I'm student producer Darius Jackson here at Speed Weenies on Howell, and this is your Hidden Gem KE. Speed Weenies on Howell is where a dog can be a dog. Here, they get the chance to run around the course and catch a plastic bag on a rope. The lure operator moves the bag quickly across the field to mimic a real chase. Instead of going out for another boring walk, I dare you to try this instead. Little Coco may gain a little bit more respect for you. She might even leave your shoes alone tonight. Good job. What makes Speed Weenies special is that they offer free runs for foster dogs. If you're looking for a solution to tire out your little buddy, this is it. And don't forget to say hi to Reese. Just remember to leave the course to the professionals.
I'm student producer Darius Jackson, and this was your hidden Jim K.E.
Thank you, Darius, for reminding us that exercise is not only important for us, but for our dogs as well. Speaking of that, we should all go enjoy some sunlight before it gets dark so early. So I'd like to thank both Haley and Dean City for coming on this week's episode.
Thanks so much again.
Thank you.
And thanks to all of you for tuning in into another episode of MATC Now. I'm your host, Leslie Garcia Ramirez. We hope you'll join us again next week.